understood what was going on back then, I was doing what any 2-year-old would do. I just did it when no one was around to stop me. But somewhere along the way, I picked up the idea that when I was creative, messy, curious, that meant I was a bad girl. So I shut it down. And this is how I began playing my game of life. So yes, I like to think of life as a game, because it reminds me not to take it so seriously. I can't tell you how many years I spent stuck in my head, stressing and worrying about things that never even happened. So in order to be a good girl, I had to play it safe. I was very shy and I didn't take risks. There was no tree climbing or roller coasters in my childhood. But I loved playing games. I played all sorts of card games and board games. And I think what I liked about it the most was that I could take risks without any real consequences. If I won, it was awesome. But if I lost, I didn't really care. It was just a game. But real life, that was different. Whenever I took a risk, I always had negative consequences. For instance, when I was a teenager, I didn't fit in with the kids in school. So I was hanging out with an older crowd, and I got arrested. Twice. In the same year. So, the experiences of the back of police cars, the booking process, waiting for my mom to come and get me from jail, the courts, the judges, it all left me feeling terrified of the police. And I went right back to being a good girl. So I focused on staying out of trouble. I was pretty good at it, except when it didn't work. And then I would stress and worry, and I would judge myself, or I would blame other people. I was stuck in fear. Not playing my game full out was killing me. I had so much anxiety going on. I didn't know what I was doing. I was losing myself because I wasn't being myself. So I had to start being me. So I didn't know who I was. So I asked people, how do you find who you are? And they said, start with what you love, and it'll follow. So I started thinking about it. I loved helping other people, and I also loved the spiritual world. But I was always too afraid to admit that to anybody. People thought it was weird and crazy. Some people even said it was sinful. So coming out of my woo-woo closet was a huge risk. But it was one that I had to take in order to be me. Take a picture. So I took another risk. I decided to change my career, and I became a spiritual and life coach. That led me to come out of hiding. And as I came out of hiding, I felt safer to express myself. I still felt the fear, but it didn't last, and there were no negative consequences. And God didn't strike me down like I thought he might. But actually, the opposite happened. I felt closer to him. I felt spirit within me. Who knew that this God that I thought was judging me as a bad, sinning person wasn't at all. I was moving from fear to love. So, as I began expressing myself and putting myself out there, I started to see how people were so scared of connecting with who they truly are because their fears were so deep. They were so serious. So I asked for help. Not from other people, from Spirit. How can I make this easier? How can I make personal growth gentle? How can I make it even fun? So I kept asking and I waited. And then I went to a business conference last fall. And I met a game developer. And she had a really cool game that helped business owners to find clarity and growth in their business while playing and connecting with their intuition. So after playing this game for a couple weeks, I was finding that my business was shifting and I felt different. And I knew that this meant that my answer was there. So I had to explore how a game could help people get out of their head. So I created the game Soul Adventure, which you've all heard about. And this is a game that can help personal growth to become a fun habit that can transform your life. And in creating it, I realized what I thought were my weaknesses were actually my strengths. I did the artwork for the game, and I put it together and how it would work. It has truly been a labor of love for me to be able to share a fun, unique way to get in touch with our soul so that we can go on that adventure that we are meant to take. Learning to listen and trust our intuition is what will guide us to our truth. And this is how you win in the game of life. Thank you.